Attorney General Ken Paxton, part of the plan is to intimidate organizations so that they don't want to help, so that they don't want to provide the support. I mean, can you imagine being willing to tolerate this kind of intimidation, this kind of abuse, this kind of targeting? You know, it probably is a disincentive. And without organizations like Annunciation House, we would have seen more of the kind of humanitarian crisis that we have seen in the past, with people sleeping on the streets, with people not having access to fundamental shelter. And at the same time that this is happening, Republicans and extremists in Congress who I serve with are trying to eliminate funding for the city of El Paso and the county of El Paso and organizations that are associated with Catholic charities, so that there's zero support for migrants. Nothing, absolutely nothing. They want a humanitarian catastrophe. In fact, I believe every single Republican in the House of Representatives voted in a way that would essentially allow for penalizing groups like Catholic charities and would eliminate the funding that goes to them. They should be ashamed of themselves, and they should all be held to account for what they have voted for.
Can you also speak to Governor Abbott and the military department of Texas creating this forward operating base in the past? I mean, it seems like they're just trying to escalate this division between the federal government and state government.
Yeah, you know, and as a reminder, that park in Eagle Pass belongs to the citizens of Eagle Pass. And Governor Greg Abbott has essentially usurped that property and is now trying to be a de facto federal agency, federal Department of Department of Homeland Security. He's trying to mimic the federal government's agency and powers. The fact of the matter is he does not have that power or authority in the Constitution. The Constitution is very clear. The Department of Justice at the federal level is challenging this in court. You know, the broader issue of the unconstitutional nature of what Greg Abbott is doing. And I think it is so important to recognize that after tens of billions of dollars that Greg Abbott has spent, he's had zero impact on migration. The numbers have recently gone down in all of Texas, not just in that sliver of Eagle Pass land where, you know, they have a presence, because of the work that the president has done with Mexico. You know, I don't anticipate it's going to be sustained. But if you look back on Governor Greg Abbott, when he started engaging, the amount of money he spent and the outcomes, there's the not only did migration was not deterred during that era when he was putting up the buoys and putting up the concertina wire, but in fact the numbers went up. And the only time there's been a shift in the numbers has come right after U.S.-Mexico collaboration. Mexico does some enforcement to the south of Texas. The numbers go down, but as we've seen in the past, that's not sustained. And so we will probably at some point see the numbers go up. So not only is he ineffective, not only is his plan wasteful, not only is it a mockery of our Constitution, you know, but again, it is dangerous.
And I did hear that you've reached out to DOJ in regard to the governor and the AG. But is there any avenue of intervention available to the federal government in terms of this lawsuit between the AG and Annunciation House?
I don't know the answer to that question. And when I met with Mr. Garland, he did not give me insight into, you know, what they were going to do, nor should he. It would be inappropriate for me to try to direct them or, you know, or to try to extract information from him. You know, I honor the independence of the Department of Justice. I think that's important. But I did impress upon him the dire situation in our community at the hands of these state government leaders. And at that time, when I met with him on Friday, I was already aware of what the AG's office had attempted with Annunciation House. And so I gave him a heads up about that. I walked him through everything that I knew about the situation, and I told him that I suspected the AG would escalate, which he did. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you very
all
much.
so much. Yeah.
Once we're done with this, so I'll just drop it in up there for you.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you want the, because you need the SD
I
card.
have a card, so we can.
And I'll give it back to you when we're at the station.
Yeah, just the SD card.
I just, yeah.
Let me just make sure I have one.
Good call.
Yeah. Because I've seen the issues and I have all the
I don't think so.
Oh, I feel so good to finally phone talk again.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude. I'm like this whole time. Oh, yes. I'm like, or you just cannot edit.
I did not have that when I put it on. Oh, no, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I just felt it. Thank you.
I told you. Thank you.
Is it this one?
That one. Do you not need this anymore?
No, I think we're good for now. Yeah, it's fine.
All set?
Yeah, that's good. And then, you know what you're in? Okay. But we don't need to, we can power down with the